Yeah, let me know before we go live, man.
We we are back again on Back and Forth Sports, where we always keep it real on all things sports. And today we got a special show to talk about this travesty that's been going on the last couple of days. Um, Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, and the Sanders family. I think we all got some real strong opinions about what's going on with this situation. So, as brothers, we're gonna kind of talk it out, give our opinions to everybody, and kind of see where we are. But before we get started talking about the Sanders family, I want to ask y'all brothers, man, what y'all think about the this Lakers series so far, man? Starting to be a good one.
Definitely starting to get good.
I let one of
Yeah,
y'all go first.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it ends. I called 7 at the
Man,
beginning. I called 7 the game series. So I
I
still
think the
think it's gonna
Lakers
go
better.
7.
I think the Lakers better win. I think the Lakers better win this game. This game four. If they don't win
Oh
game
yeah,
four, it's
it's a
gonna be
must
a
win.
wrap.
Yeah, it's a must win for sure. Go ahead,
Look
LJ.
like Morris able to jump on after.
Uh, man,
Fred,
the two things that
Fred
I
tick
took.
right now.
Can y'all, two things that I took from last night, man. You got, I mean, Minnesota just they honestly they just more physical. They playing more physical basketball. They long and man, they tired them boys out completely. I think LeBron did
Oh
all he
yeah.
could do. He did all he could do last night. Tried to will them to a victory, and just it was too little, too late down the stretch, man. Just too much. Ant Edwards and what's the other kid name? Uh,
Jalen Daniels.
yeah, dude, 6'10",
Jalen
and he
Daniels.
long, bro. So he just giving boys fits out there.
Man, I know. I think
I,
I
I
think I really
honestly,
still think they win.
I don't know, man. I
I think
just,
they
I
win
don't
as
know,
Luka
man.
there.
I mean, they
I think
said
they
Luca
still
was
win
under
as
the
Luka
weather.
wasn't sick.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
say he's
you can
sick.
kind of
So
tell. Hey
What's
Morris,
up with you,
Morris,
man?
can you put it on mute, man? We hear you cutting grass out there.
I'm in between. I can do a little talking right now, man.
Oh,
we'll
okay,
go.
okay. Yeah, man, we were just kind of touching on the Lakers game before we jumped into this Shedeur Sanders issue, man. Just seeing what we all thought about this Lakers series. 'Cause I think that's the main one everybody watching.
Yeah, I think Luka took a game off last night, first half.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be real interesting. So anyway, man, Shedeur Sanders. So what's y'all brothers' real take on this? Do y'all think it's an actual conspiracy against him? Do y'all think it's just a humbling / buck breaking situation? What do y'all think is really going on with this?
All the above.
I think it's all of the above.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I think it's more of a generational thing more than anything, and it's sad to say that. I don't see his dad doing anything wrong, just to, kind of go first on it. But I think it's sad, man, that we sitting up here using a father that's basically did what a father's supposed to do his whole life. He coached his son, he put his son in a winning position his entire life. And now his son is getting blamed for things that his dad did in the past that a lot of people didn't like. And I really don't see nothing wrong with it because I feel like cockiness is confidence to me, however you want to put it out there. We all in life have had been cocky and confident in things that we did in life. And it's just sad to see this young man having to deal with something that he really shouldn't have to. He hasn't been arrested. He hasn't been at parties drinking. We haven't seen him, do all type of bad antics on campus and stuff. It's a lot of hearsay. This cat, he's been a model citizen his whole career from the HBCUs all the way up to Colorado. And it's sad. It's sad to see it as a black man in 2025 still to be going through stuff like this. I see them trying to blame stuff like he's throwing these signs up with his wrist and stuff with the watch, but we seen Baker Mayfield do it. We seen Johnny Manziel become famous for doing it. We seen Johnny Manziel sit here and come out with a documentary and actually say that he was at parties with LeBron James and other superstars prior to the game before the night before, drinking and doing all type of stuff. And he still went in the top first round of the draft and stuff. So it's sad to see this young man actually have to deal with this type of stuff in this society nowadays. And it just shows you that the world hasn't changed. It hasn't changed at all. And we're going to continue to go through this. And as the black culture, we have to stick together, regardless of what we say. We have to stick together as a culture because it's showing that we are labeled. It's showing that they don't care about how much money we make. They don't care about how smart we are. We are labeled as black people, as the color of our skin, and we'll always be labeled like that until we leave from here. And that's what he's going through. And it's sad, it's sickening to see. The whole world is saying it. I seen Nick Saban even sit up there and mention it last night. The whole world is seeing it. And it's sad. And as a race, we have to stick together. We have to support this young man.
Man, you
Yeah, I
sound
feel.
like Dr. King right
Go
now,
ahead,
bro.
Fred.
Go ahead.
I feel everything you said as a whole, but at the same time, I mean, this is. I'm definitely on his side that he's being blackballed, and I'm definitely on the side that it's being unfair. But I'm also a realist, and I want to ask him what did he expect to happen?
The same
Did
thing that happened to every other cocky quarterback get drafted.
Yeah, okay. Well, every other cocky quarterback didn't have prime for a father, and every other
I don't see why that's a problem.
if you want to just go
Why is having a daddy a problem? It seems like they
so
don't like
that's
black
no
kids with
reason
fathers.
for to blackball the players cocky. It's just the the NFL, bro. They got the power to do whatever they want to anybody
Facts
that's
is their
that's trying
establishment.
to
I
come
understand
within.
that.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead, bro.
And I'm just agreeing with your point. I'm saying I understand that.
Okay, the NFL got the power to do whatever they want to with their with their organization, and history shows it the way they did Colin Kaepernick. And the thing is, as far from the beginning of high school until this point, Shedeur and Dion had the power to control the narrative, and they exceeded expectations at everything that they've done thus far. So, if anyone felt any type of way about whatever they did or however their legacy was up until this point, and they got the chance to tarnish it, did they really think that they wasn't gonna do it? What did they really expect? I mean, the emergence of without the emergence of Cam Ward, if Cam Ward wouldn't have came through and did what he did last season and showed up, I truly believe that Shedeur would have got picked number one overall by Tennessee. But with the emergence of Cam Ward, and it's just so happened that he's black, this set up the stage for them to do everything that they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And that's
I
just
know with me. Oh, I thought you were finished, bro.
no. I was gonna say, and that's just my take on it, man. I understand he's getting. I do say he's getting done wrong, but I just want to know: did they not expect this?
Yeah. And I feel where you're coming from. I know me when I first started looking at it, and just really the couple weeks leading up to the draft, I said, okay, they starting to have cold feet on Shedeur. He probably ain't gonna go first, but he probably ain't gonna, be in the top 5 or 10. But I'm thinking, okay, if he don't go, if Pittsburgh don't get him, he's not gonna go in the first round, which is all obvious to everybody. So then when New York traded up, I was like, okay, New York used their head. Let me get something I really need first. I know nobody's gonna be getting Shedeur, and I'll get him. So when they got Dort, that made me kind of open my eyes a little more to it. Like, okay, now something ain't right. But I was confident he was gonna go in the second round. So now that the second round and third round the cycle, and he still hadn't got picked, to me, it has to be some illusion going on.
Yeah.
To me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not even a conspiracy theorist person. I'm not. And I didn't have expectations. Oh, he's the best quarterback I ever seen. He should be the number one pick. He was very solid, very accurate. But I'm not like super duper high on him like that. But what I feel like is
What?
he's definitely an NFL level quarterback and could develop into a
Not
really
to cut
good
you off,
pro
man.
with the right coach.
I, I want to add one more thing to my take, and then I'm gonna sit back. What I like about Shedeur is that he's won on every level that he's played on. And as as I play sports, and that's just one thing that you can't coach. Somebody that's used to winning. So when you bring in a player that's used to winning at every level, it's only gonna carry over, man, because they're gonna do what it takes to win. They're gonna hold people accountable and bring a winning atmosphere to your locker room. And so, if I was as a GM or whatever the case may be, that's something that I definitely would want. And I know everybody say, "Well, what? They didn't win at Colorado. They won compared to what the school was doing beforehand with what they had." And then now I'm through, bro. I'm gonna back up.
Oh, you good, Fred? Go on, jump in.
Man, this is a lot, man. This a lot for me to sit here and watch this in 2025 and sit here and watch this right before our eyes crumble like this, man. It's actually heartbreaking, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's heartbreaking, man, for us to have to sit here and watch this because as a black man, you can't wear jewelry. You can't have 3, 4 expensive cars. You can't, your pops can't be in your life. Your pops can't raise you the right way. Your brothers can't be filming you on the sideline. Like you can't do none of these things. And if that happens, then we're gonna penalize you for it. And I'm sure, of course, Dion got something to do with it because whatever went on when he was in the NFL, they felt like Dion was running things when he was in the NFL. So since we can't get your son, since we can't get you, we gonna get your son. If we go strictly off football alone, it's actually no reason Shedeur shouldn't be the number 1 pick. I mean, you can be a
I
toss up
agree.
between him and Cam Ward. It could be a toss up, one or the other.
yeah.
Cool. Pick the one you want, and that's fine. But dude, we on the last day of the draft, man, and you got our own people talking about cocky. Like, give me something that really
Yeah,
says this man is cocky, other than him holding his wrist up. He don't
Mhm.
talk down on other players.
exactly.
He done been in plenty of
Yep.
his press conferences with his own offensive line that does not block for him. I
Yep.
mean,
True.
it be us still churning this thing as well. Forget the white people; they gonna do what they do. But
Mhm.
it be our own people
Yeah,
that be doing it
and
too.
all
Mhm. I agree.
what they don't realize is we are a 15% minority,
Yep.
and if half of us chime in and take sides with the opposition or whatever you want to call it, then all they niggas want that then you say, you say it ain't just
Sound like you in the
I think
Marks.
you
It
break.
sound like
I
you in the
think you
Matrix,
breaking up,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
Dre,
about
jump
that.
in
What I
while we
was
wait for
saying is
Mark to
all it
come back.
takes is
Oh, go
a
ahead.
couple. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can
we
hear
can
you
hear you.
now.
Yeah, I was saying all it takes is a couple of us to side with the opposition, and then that kills the part where they being racist because they can say, "Oh, we're not being racist. Black people are saying it too."
Yep.
Every time, bro.
Yep.
Every time. And another thing that be
Yeah.
killing me too. People will take one. They'll look at your tape and find the bad in what you did and
Yeah.
dissect that. Forget talking about the good. If you really go and study this dude play at
Yeah,
Colorado, you will see that when he was, we can, okay, we'll say the offensive line was horrible. But even on blitz plays, this dude still had a QBR of 92%, bro.
Yeah.
He led the league in passing percentage. He led FBS in passing percentage. That alone
A record.
will get you at the number 1 pick by itself.
Yeah.
Not to mention your O line is bad. But like I said, going off football alone, we know he should be top 5 regardless. Top 5. We'll just say top 5. But when you get to adding in the
yeah,
other stuff, like I said, they don't want to see you being flashy. If I'm not mistaken, Carson Beck bought him and his old lady a Lamborghini. But
Yep.
we
He
ain't
did.
talking about that though.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about that. Even though he's still in college, I want to hear them talk about Carson Beck and the Manning boys when it's time for them to get drafted.
right.
I want to hear about how they were horrible in the media. I want to hear about when they don't throw at not pro days, at the combine. Because everybody don't throw. You don't have to throw at the combine.
Your best quarterbacks have.
Let me ask y'all a question. And each one of y'all answer individually. So of course you see a lot on the internet. It's racist. It's black. It's white. Is that the correct way to argue? Being that probably 90% of the draft went black. The first pick of the draft was black. The second pick was black. The third, like, can we? I guess my fear is I don't think it's a conspiracy on black and white because there's too many black people that got drafted. I think it's a conspiracy against Deion. So when I'm saying conspiracy, I think it's the humbling of the Sanders family.
Yeah.
Not just a race thing, because you can't be racist in sports. Because if you exclude the blacks in sports don't exist.
Yes, you can be racist.
Well, I don't mean you can't have racist practices. I mean, as far as your selection of players, you're not gonna. Say, I'm not gonna pick a player because he's black. I ain't talking about the actual system or the team.
No, because you can't just put it as a broad being racist, but you can be racist by position. You can't be you can't be racist on cornerback because ain't no white cornerbacks. You can't be racist on edge rushers because 90% of the edge rushers is black. You know what I mean? But you can be racist on pay. If you get one good white edge rushers, you can pay him more than you play the rest of.
So with that being said, right? If two players are comparable in their skill set, black and white, to me, being at that point, if you're looking at two players, they both have comparable skills to you, one black, one white, and if a team chooses the black player, that's cool. But if they happen to choose the white, does that automatically add up to they being racist? I'm saying, are we saying all black players should always be picked regardless, just because they black, and that's the only way to prove it's not racist?
Nah. Or I don't even think it's that.
We can't. That's what I'm saying. Cause we can't. If we throw the word around real loosely, it starts weakening the argument, and that'd be my thing on it. It can't be the boy who cried wolf, where every single thing you say is this. If every single time, they only did that because. If I'm in the NFL, I'm gonna say who was the first pick of the draft. It was a black quarterback. So if that's the case, we would have picked Dart first.
When I say that varies from situation to situation is okay. So the situation is the first guy in the draft was black, and that kind of goes back to my argument of when I say they have a token in there or somebody black disagrees with the narrative. But the narrative isn't that Shedeur wasn't good enough. The narrative is he's too cocky. So then that way your argument comes in with the guy, what's the Tampa Bay quarterback? I can't think of his name right off top.
Baker
Mayfield, and then Manziel. Okay, they were cocky and they still were drafted in prime positions in the draft. So that's where the racial part come in. They're saying, okay, so what's the difference in Shedeur and Baker Mayfield and Manziel? That's where the racial context is coming in.
I think you're making a counterpoint. I think you're making a counterpoint to something I'm not saying. All I'm saying is if you go on the court, it's hard to make a case to saying they didn't pick Shedeur because he's black only. It's strictly a race thing. To me, it's a humbling thing. And I don't agree with that, but to me, it's
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah,
no, I just want to say what I was saying.
No, I got you. Yeah, but I'm clear. You challenged what I said, so I'm clarifying what I'm saying first, and then you come back in. So what I'm saying is, when you look at Deion, to me, the second, third greatest defender ever. I put him, Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, greatest ever. He talking to us, he backed it up, and he been talking to us since day one with the Jerry curl and the music videos. And I know a lot of people can't handle that. So then you got his son, the second iteration of that. Like FJ was saying, he got the nice cars, he flashed the jury. We seeing Deion 2.0. So now I think you got some people saying you're not even what Deion is. but yet you trying to act like you more than this. So we gonna show you and your daddy that y'all not who y'all think they are. That's what I say. I think to me that's more because if Shedeur was a undeniable greatest quarterback we ever seen in college, you can't pick him. I don't care what he do. I don't care if he come to the club and you find him with guns. You can't deny the talent if it's just flat in your face. To me, when I look at Shedeur, I see an NFL level quarterback that should have been drafted to me at least by the second round. So to me, I can't say only he didn't go in the first round or second round because he's black, because too many other black players went, including other black quarterbacks. So to me, it just makes it hard to argue that. And I think we will be better targeting what's really the problem to me. And this is all opinionated. And I think that problem is we want to bring Deion Sanders down the sides and we're going to go through his son to do it. That's just what I personally think. I'm not saying that's right or fact, and I know it's counter opinions to that. It's just a dissenting opinion. That's why I ain't throwing the race thing around.
No, so I definitely agree with everything that you said. But what I was trying to clarify with my point is that that's what I think everybody is bringing up the racial part in, is because the only difference between him and Baker and Manziel is that he's black. They same level of cockiness, maybe even more with those two guys. You know what I'm saying? More disrespectful shit that came from Baker and Manziel during the
No,
play. You know
I
what I
agree
mean?
with that.
So that's why that's the only place I see the racial part coming in at. But as far as
Yeah,
I agree with everything you said about trying to break
Baker.
Deion.
Yeah, for sure. I just think the Baker and Manziel, I think they were more highly sought quarterbacks and felt like they were more can't miss quarterbacks than what they looked at Shedeur. Because I remember the Money Manziel era. I love
Yes.
that, just like I love Shedeur. I like cocky players.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So
Mm-hmm.
do you think if Deion got, say, the Razorback job, and they put the Razorbacks in the playoffs and they played in the SEC day in and day out, and he put up those same numbers, do you think he's not drafted in day 3 now? Do you think he's still in the same spot?
Still in the same spot.
I think if he goes to the SEC and is the best quarterback in the SEC, I think he's going 1. If he can go
Yep.
through that gauntlet, put up them same type of numbers. This is just my opinion. If he putting up them same type of numbers, FJ made a great point, which I've been telling everybody. I ain't saying the best quarterback I ever seen, but when you got a line that can't block and you still the most accurate, that gotta count for something. So my point is, if you can now go through the SEC and do what he did, I don't think you can deny it. I think it's still some room in there now to where everybody's not consensus 100% on Shedeur as a top level grade A quarterback 1. Most
Right.
people are, not everybody, so it's room in there. But yeah, if he
I
went to
think
the SEC, I don't think you can deny
what
it.
what
The
a time what
reason
a,
the reason why I say it don't matter what conference they have been in, this is not a football issue.
it's not.
It's not a football issue, man. This is
It's
a
not.
Dion and Shador issue with racist undertone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it
That
is.
I agree. I agree to
I
the
and the
agree.
degree a
piggy
little bit.
and the piggyback off of what FJ, what Morris, and what all y'all are saying is, I think it's just the characteristics of the African American culture. I'm
Man,
gonna
we
just
gonna
be
hold you down. We gonna hold you down.
I think what they're really looking at is you got this black man within Deion Sanders, like Keith said earlier. He been flashing jewelry since the '80s. He been this cocky player coming out of, and they didn't like that then. They
And they
didn't like
couldn't
it
stop
then.
it, and they
They
couldn't do
couldn't
nothing
stop it.
about it.
And now what you're seeing is they want us to be labeled as, it's almost like my job. When I come in, I'm a black dude from the South, but guess what? The first thing people say when I come in, they look at you and they think you hood. But when I open up my mouth, they see that I'm not hood. They see that I can speak in a vernacular. They see I can speak in a certain type of tone. They see that I can pronounce my words. That's the type of
Yeah.
players that the NFL wants. They don't want players like Shedeur. They don't want men like Dion. They want us to stay in this box of where we got to drink the Kool-Aid. And if we're not drinking the Kool-Aid and try to switch it up to sweet tea, you're seeing what's happening. This is what's happening when you can't be yourself. This is what's happening when you can't sit up there and have your own type of personality to yourself. If he would have came in like Cam Ward and wasn't flashing no jewelry, just been this humble, up and jumping Negro, then he would have got picked number 1 because the numbers are there. But by him changing and being what his father taught him and having confidence in himself, now we're seeing him personally and his family personally get blackballed. It has nothing to do with Milroy. It has nothing to do with any other quarterback, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, any of those guys. Those guys don't act like Shedeur. Shedeur acts differently than all those guys I just named. Lamar and that's what's going on. We're seeing a family get blackballed for being this certain type of characteristic. The same thing with John Morant. What do we say about Morant? He's hood. He flashing guns. He doing this and doing that. If Morant was not doing none of that, he would be the face of the NBA. But by him being his own person and selecting and choosing to be this type of guy, whether he's like that or not, the society doesn't like it.
This the thing. This the thing right now. I think my opinion, after everything all said and done, I think it's 2 organizations that needs a quarterback. That needed a quarterback day 1 of the draft that probably are equipped to deal with what's going to come with Shedeur. And that'll be the Raiders, the Raiders, and the Raiders and Pittsburgh. I don't see anybody else, man. It's not working.
I think I'm gonna be honest. I would throw Jacksonville out there. I'll throw Jacksonville out there.
I throw the Cowboys. To me, I can't understand how Jerry Jones hadn't picked him up. Like, to me, this is a Jerry Jones special. Somebody that's gonna have everybody talking about the Cowboys all year, even more than we do now. Dion got the rooster. You may want to lure Dion there one day as a coach. You know, I would have thought Dallas would have took a flyer on him by now. And if not New York been suffering so bad. That's the big city. Like, you would seem like you would want somebody that's big billboard, bright lights in New York, because they hadn't had that.
The reason why I don't think they took him is because they coach on the hot seat. He don't want to bring more attention to himself that's what's already there. And they got Russell that'll tie him over for 1 year. So he like, shit, fuck that. I'll just get a quarterback in the draft next year if I really want one. A real quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, man, I look at the talent level. I look at how this kid produced, man, from Jackson State all the way up to now. And can't nobody in this world sit there and say the kid can't throw. It's a family issue, and it's deeper than football, and like I just referred back to what I'm saying, man. It's just a sad situation, man, that you got to sit up here, man, and watch this draft with your kids, and you have to sit up there as a father and tell your kid asks you why he ain't got drafted yet. And you got to be totally brutally honest with your kid and tell him why. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't sit there and make it seem like it's talent because the talent is there. We have to prepare our kids, man, whether it's our son or our daughter, and let them know that this is society and this type of stuff is waiting on you. Whether you go work a 9 to 5 or whether you get finna sign $1 million contract. We have to prepare our kids.
Now, I'll say this. His talent compared to the other quarterbacks in the draft, yeah, he's way better than them. But nobody can say how good he is compared to NFL talent because we've never seen him play NFL talent.
Exactly.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Exactly. We going on because I seen trash quarterbacks get picked. Like I'm like FJ when I seen him make his status. Man, we hadn't heard nothing from this dude from Louisville, man. Like he ain't been on nobody's radar all year.
The only player that's on this level is Cam Ward. They were the 2 best quarterbacks in this draft.
That's it.
Like it's sad. Like you go throw this guy in, he's 25 years old. He came out the same draft class as Trevor Lawrence now and Justin Fields. He played 7 years of college football. And you gonna tell me that this kid better than Shedeur? His numbers are better? And they said each year he had a losing career-ending, like a injury-plagued season each year that he played football. Didn't even finish the last 3-4 games of each of his seasons. And he's going top second round? Come on, man. No, you can't give me that.
Man, I do want to speak on the that phone conversation as well. When they supposedly had been New Orleans calling Shedeur. Come on, man. How often does that happen, bro? Mm-hmm. Like, we've been going through the draft, these owners, these GMs, they know who to call, they know who they want. How is that a mistake for that to happen like that?
And he said he had a new phone number, and the GMs was the only ones that had that number.
I just don't understand how does that happen? So you mean to tell me the owners and the GMs supposedly really don't know who they want to take?
Yeah.
And then you tell this man, "Oh, we fixing to take you with the next pick," and then right after you say that, you say you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer and hang up the phone,
Disrespect.
Wow.
bro. Come on,
Disrespect.
man. Come on, man. This done
Disrespect.
went way too far, bro.
So let me ask y'all
So
a
so
question.
they so
Let
so
me,
they so they clarified that was an actual GM that called him.
I mean, supposedly it was Mickey Lumen from New Orleans. It was their GM, supposedly. That's who he said he was.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
so let me ask y'all something real quick. Considering we're still in the middle of the fourth round right now as we speak, right? Or is it
Yeah.
over? Do
Uh,
y'all do y'all
hey
think he
Keith,
gets picked? Huh?
you think is it possible I can get one of my homeboys on real quick?
Yeah, of course, of course. Send him the link.
Let me see if I can see him.
I'll text it to you, and then you can just forward it to him like that if you want me to.
All right.
Yeah, but do y'all ultimately think he's gonna eventually get picked, or y'all think he's gonna go undrafted?
I
Cause
At
think
since
they're
this
some
gonna
of
point,
pick
you,
him
I don't
first.
know, bro. At this
Hey,
point, I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
tell you what. I
I
tell
don't
you
think
what.
they're
If he
gonna
go
pick him.
past,
If they were gonna pick him, they would have been picked.
if he go past the fifth round, he's not getting picked. Because think about it. He's not. There's no guaranteed money.
yeah.
It's not a guaranteed contract. Somebody will sign him. They'll play him a couple preseason games, and guess what? He's cut, and he won't be in the league. And to them, it's almost like Django, like what he said to Django, and that will be the end of Shedeur Sanders. And I think that's what they want. I think that's what they want, and and it's gonna be a sad day if that happens.
They want to see him beg, man. They
Yeah.
want to see him get down on his knees and beg. And if I was him, if I didn't get picked, I wouldn't even play football anymore. I'd just be like, fuck it, I don't
Do I
need
got
football.
Sydney number in my phone?
yeah, I think I'm still holding out faith that he's gonna get picked.
I hope my Dolphins pick him. Honestly,
If the
I
if
do.
the if the Raiders
I hope
are
my Dolphins pick him. I want him bad down there in Florida. Put the pressure
three
on
teams,
Tua. His
Raiders,
daddy played for Florida State. Hey, bring
I'm
him.
trying to
No,
forward
hey, high risk, high
this.
reward to me. Bring him down.
Raiders, Steelers, and the
He
Cowboys.
just
If it's one
watched
of
my
them
though. He
don't
don't
pick
have
him,
the
it's
link
over.
to get on, I don't think. I don't think. What's his number?
Let me mute Fred. Yeah, I think I mean, it got to be somebody. Somebody got to take a flyer on him. If not, that's gonna be the biggest story. Probably, it's gonna probably be right up there with that Colin Kaepernick scandal if he don't get drafted.
Oh man, it's gonna make the NFL look bad. It's gonna
Yeah,
make the league look bad.
They don't care. They
enough
provide
But
people
kind of
agree
but
pay.
with it, so they
and
don't give
then
a fuck what they look like.
honestly, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, and to all my Caucasian friends, you know me, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. It's too many black brothers playing quarterback. It's too many. The African Americans took over the quarterback position, man, and I don't. They trying to thin it out. They are trying to thin it out. If you sit there and
They
look
can't
at
do
it,
that, brother.
they
yeah,
try. You're right, but they are trying to. They are
They
trying to
can't
thin it
do it,
out.
man. That's them days. Them days over with, bro. That they
Like
can't do it.
Like the African American
Now,
is
if they
taking
want to
over the
compete,
NFL quarterback position.
yeah,
What you got? What
it's kind
maybe
of like the
5 to
same way
6 that starter?
segregation went when they didn't
Yeah,
want black people playing. Period. If they want to
yeah.
compete, they better have a black quarterback.
Nowadays you gotta have one.
yeah.
You know, I didn't get to answer the question, while ago. I know you asked, do I think he'll get drafted? I'm gonna tell you, like I told my wife, man, I'm at the point that I don't think it's gonna happen.
You don't think he's
But
gonna get drafted?
You don't see
I
it?
just, I don't, man. The way what everything has been looking, man, it just don't look like it.
Yeah.
Hey, Keith, this my partner Sydney on right here, man. He out of LA, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Happy to have you on with us, brother.
I think his phone may be breaking up.
Yeah, I see him though.
Yeah, it's froze. Yeah, man, it's sad, bro. That's
He good.
I honestly
What's up,
don't
brother?
know.
What's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah.
brother.
We hear you. We
Hey,
hear
happy
you.
to have you on here, man.
Man, first of all, I'm a fan of everybody just listening, man. I love the conversation. I was all passionate in the comments, like, "Oh, this is a good convo." You know what I mean?
Well, go on, jump in there, man. Hey, tell us what you think about the whole situation.
I think it's two things. I think it's unfortunate. I think he definitely should have been drafted. I think they're trying to make an example out of this man and try to act like it's confidence and his cockiness, his jury and his dad, which is to me a subtle sense of just that's racism to me, because you're not really judging this man upon on-field talent. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to say that he's not a top 5, top 10 pick, I could digest that, right? I can't digest this any second round team needing a quarterback not choosing him. Like the Browns waiting, the Steelers not. New Orleans to me was the biggest. Like, what? Everyone tell me about NFL quarterbacks, what you draft a
Breaking up
25-year-old
shit.
guy over Sanders is just crazy. So I really don't think he's gonna get drafted now. I think
Good, bro.
like try to sign on and get a deal. I don't think he signed. I don't think he gets drafted now.
Yeah, that'll be a travesty if he don't get drafted. NFL, they'll have some explaining to do. It'll be a lot of pullback, you know, and because like you said at a certain point, people not gonna have a problem with the NFL just because he didn't get drafted. It's just the way it looks. It's just gonna rub so many people the wrong way, man. I think that's
the only three teams I see taking him is the Cowboys, the Raiders, and Philadelphia, and it's for three different reasons. Philadelphia, it was because they have a veteran-laden team and a veteran coach that can deal with the media. That if it comes in, you know, like whatever is dealt their way, they'll be able to handle it. The Raiders, I think the only reason that they would be able to take him is because he's got a relationship with Tom Brady, and you know, that in itself, I don't know how much weight that can have on their decision when taking him. And the Cowboys is because, you know, Dion played for the Cowboys, and you know Jerry pretty much stomps to his own beat in a sense. So, and with any of those teams taking him, those are the only three teams that I think if it was collusion and they said, all right, we ain't gonna take him, them the only three teams that I think could possibly go against the grain and just be like, all right, you know what, fuck what y'all talking about. We're gonna do what we want to do regardless.
so y'all think the NFL, y'all think the NFL is actually contacting teams saying do not pick him.
I
Well,
do.
they
I
done.
think they had a
They
meeting beforehand.
They done that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
think,
been done that, bro.
this is not a GM situation right here. These are owners.
Yeah, this a big dog status. Somebody
These
from
are
upstairs said nobody
listen.
takes Shedeur.
Same way how the MLB have winter meetings, the NFL have winter meetings too. They already done discussed this. They done seen this kid play all season, and they already done sent the email out and said, "Hey, it's a red flag against him for whatever red flag it is, whatever they trying to throw out there."
Oh, it
I just
wasn't
say
no
that
email. They ain't leave no trail. They ain't leave no
I'm just
paper trail there.
Hell no, all that
I
shit was
actually
personal.
I
Face to
actually
face.
just seen I wanted to speak on I just seen one of the comments with Chris, one of the guys that commented a minute ago in the comment section. I see them said the best players, not colors, the best players. Show me a quarterback that's better than him that just got drafted then. If it's the best player, show me one of those guys that was better than him, that had the better numbers than him that got drafted. I'm telling you, it's not even the guys that's left. You got Eras from Texas. You got who else is left? You got Will Howard. Those guys came from top programs with 5-star recruits. Like, let's be real. You got 5-star recruits on the O-line. You got 5-star recruits at receiver. If you would have gave him these cats in Colorado, his numbers would have been better. So I'm looking at the talent on the field with what this man had, what he did at each level that he played in, and you gonna tell me that he don't deserve to get picked in the first 3 rounds? You can't give me that. I'm sorry, you cannot give me that.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
Man, they got to stop talking
I
about the
think
play on the field, man, because that's not what it's about.
No, it had nothing to
I
do
think to
with
your point
that.
earlier, I think the Raiders would make sense. I don't think they're going to grab him. I think when they kept trading back, if they wanted that quarterback, they would have made sure to solidify, let me just get that quarterback position. And since they keep trading back, I think they're over the Sanders pick. I think Dallas would make sense. They drafting, we got 3 offensive linemen, probably 25 or less now. You know what I mean? It's like we've drafted a young core line. Why not go get a Sanders? I'm a Cowboy fan, so he's ass to me. Sorry. But, like, at least play Dak out, and then you got somebody you brewing for the next 2 years that can come up with this young line. That would make sense. But
I don't say Dallas because y'all just went and got Joe Milton from the Patriots.
let them compete over it. He's in the round where you compete. So it's like now may the best man win for when Dak gets whatever hurt or traded or another 2 years. Now the best man win. We got Milton and we got Sanders, the protege. All right, cool. Now best
That
man
makes
win.
sense. That makes
It
sense.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Or Miami, like you said, what keeps getting hurt. I like to actually, but he keep getting hurt. Get some insurance back.
So, question: Do y'all think this is worse than Colin Kaepernick?
No,
I do.
nah.
No.
Nah, it ain't worse than
The
Kaepernick.
magnitude of Colin Kaepernick, he was actually a proven NFL quarterback that played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They got blackballed. This kid's never played a down of football in the NFL yet. So
His beliefs to his culture and his beliefs to himself what got him out the NFL. So that's a deeper situation.
hey guys, I done made it to the next
I just
job,
want
man.
everybody to remember when Eli Manning's daddy said he wouldn't go to San Diego.
Enjoy having a good time with y'all, man. But I gotta go, man. My people looking at me like, man, we working. What you doing? So I gotta go, man.
All right, bro.
Man, hey,
All
good
right,
to
bro.
jump on.
I enjoyed it, fellas, man, for sure.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
bro. Good. Hey, good, man. Because we actually got another gentleman, Mr. Chris. He wants to join, and he's like a brother to me. He's a white brother to me. So I'm happy he's gonna jump on. So
It don't matter.
I got white brothers
he can
too,
get his
man.
head warmed up too.
Hey, do you hear me? Look, hey,
So he said he want to
this heat is not racist.
Yeah, he said he want to jump in, so I sent him the link. No doubt, man. But yeah, I think we have to see how it plays out. Right now, I don't know.
And just for the record, man, Pittsburgh just passed over Shedeur again.
Yeah, see,
again.
Yeah, see,
I think what's going to happen is if he do get drafted, it's going to be by a veteran-led team with a veteran quarterback. Maybe a Buffalo. I can't say Kansas City. I can't say Baltimore. It's going to be one of these veteran. Detroit. I could Detroit, LA. You got the Rams. Stafford is on his way out the door. You know what I mean? So one of those teams is gonna be a LA, it's gonna be a Detroit type team that picks him if he do get drafted.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be somebody that needs a backup, and they main quarterback is getting on up a little bit.
I don't know, man. I think we're looking at about 80-85% of not getting drafted, bro.
That's what I'm leaning towards. I don't see him getting drafted at this point.
If he go past the 5th round, he's not getting drafted. So
hey,
I mean,
so we got another guest today, man. It's been a good day, man. 2 newbies to the channel, man. What's up, Chris?
What's up, man? How you?
Man, we good, brother. We good, man. Glad you hopped on with us, man. So we're gonna pause for a minute. We're gonna let you give your take because we already been rambling for a little bit. So what's your take on all this?
Man, here's my thought process on it. There has to be something in the interview process because I agree with what he said when he talked about me because there's not a quarterback better than him. I don't think that either. So there's 2 things that makes me wonder what's going on. Number one, the interview process. There had to be some kind of sense of the entitlement or something that, that warded teams off. But the thing that I think about the most about this draft and why these quarterbacks aren't going and where they're going at is I don't think anybody wants to spend a lot of money on quarterbacks because of the quarterbacks that are coming in next year. You've got 6 quarterbacks that are coming in the next year's draft that are better than any quarterback in this draft. And if you look at it at the end of the day, a lot of these teams have their quarterbacks. So it's hard to pick someone that they're going to say, hey, we need a starting quarterback because a lot of them don't. And Cleveland, this is what I'll say about that. Everybody's like, Cleveland should have got him. Man, Cleveland has picked 20 first-round quarterbacks and none of them worked. Maybe that was the best thing for them to do is not pick a quarterback for once in their life, and try to see what's going on. But there has to be something in the interview process. I'm telling you, you see all these clips, and I do think that there was an attack. I think it was a sneak attack by some people that probably didn't like Dion or didn't, like that. But there's something going on, but I don't think it's collusion with the NFL. I just think that a lot of these teams are just backing off of entitlement.
See, and I feel you made a lot of good points, and I feel where you're coming from. And to me, that point is most prevalent if you're looking at the first round.
Understand that.
Even the second round to a certain extent. But now we're on up into the 4th round. See, to me, that's where that perspective loses steam.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that now that we've passed, the third round, the fourth round, it's almost like a pride thing? Well, now we're not going to join him because we don't know how he's going to react.
That's what it is at this point.
And that's what I feel like it is too. That's why I'm asking, because I'm sitting here trying, watching it on TV and just, seeing the people that have gone. But, where I got star-studded was the Louisville thing. The quarterback from Louisville, who's absolutely horrible, right? Like,
Store.
Look, I saw something today.
Sure.
I saw something today, and I feel like this is kind of the truth, even though it's funny. It's like the Saints picked that guy just so they can make sure they can get Arch Manning next year in the draft, because there's no way they're winning with that.
I agree.
So yeah. And then Jalen Milroe, I mean, being an SEC fan and watching him play, all these years, he's not even close to Sanders, not even close. So I think it's a pride thing at this point. I agree. Someone said something, I was listening earlier about the Cowboys, might get him. I think people now are so scared to draft him because they know they're gonna have to sit him and to hear and see, how that goes. Like all this stuff with in college now with the analyses, right? You have the quarterback from Tennessee, and the quarterback that came to Arkansas, and now they're leaving. I feel like these kind of things are starting to turn off the professional sports and college sports, because where we have in college now is, and we can all be honest about this, the players rule college football. It ain't the coaches no more. It's not the universities. The players go, hey, I got $9 million to go to Michigan. I'm going to Michigan, and can jump up and leave. And I feel like they kind of, it's almost like it's always a trend, right? It always starts in college and it moves up to the NFL. And I kind of feel like that's what they're trying to stop right here, is we're not going to allow the players to start dictating, the NFL, because these owners, and let's be real, I would say 70% a bunch of old white racist men, right? I mean, let's just keep it honest, I mean, they want whoever they can to win, but at the end of the day, most of them don't care. They're just they're past their times. And that's when it becomes a pride thing. That's when it becomes I'm not doing this. They're not going to run my league. They're not going to run my football team. And I kind of feel like that's where we're at. I really do. There's something in that interview process, guys, I'm telling you, turned a lot of teams off. And y'all saw his interviews when he didn't go to the combine, I mean, arrogant, yes, cocky, yes. I mean, but I agree with y'all. Talent should overcome that at some point. But they're making it seem like it doesn't even come close. But I don't think he's going to get drafted.
Yeah, that's sad too. It's sad to think about. It's going to be a big story. It's going to be a black cloud over this whole offseason leading up to the league.
So basically, what I'm getting is I need to come into these interviews with a suit on, necktie on, with some glasses on, no earrings, no jewelry, and make sure I'm saying the correct words the right way, so
Don't
I
be
can
confident
please
either.
everybody. Don't be confident in yourself, but do this. Be a yes man, basically.
Well,
I mean, that's almost what it sounds like, because this takes me back when they had the issue with LeBron them a couple years ago, when they were saying just shut up and dribble.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I remember
quit
that.
all that talking, quit all this and quit all that, and just shut up and play football. We got to stop this, man. It's time for a change, man. And them very owners that was in the league that was owning things when Dion was playing, guess what? Them same owners are still there.
Absolutely.
That didn't like Dion. They still there.
Well, yeah.
And I guess know what the line of cockiness is, because DK Metcalf, when he got drafted, didn't he say, "What took y'all so long to come get me?"
Yeah.
Come on now.
That's different now. Let's be real about that.
Well, let me just give a couple examples. And then when Jacksonville called him and said, "Hey man, we traded this and this to come get you," Trav was like, "Yeah, you should have." So it's like this. Like, I don't know what he did in the interview. Like, look, I'm not crazy. If he went in there and was like, "Y'all better draft me. Y'all dumb if y'all don't draft me." Yeah, that's much, but I don't think he did that. right? And
It's hard to
everybody
believe that.
has jury. Everybody confident. Everybody back there had jury on. White and black had jury on, right? They had jury on. So it's like, what kind of confidence do you want me to have in these interviews? Do you want me to settle down and be like, yes, sir, okay? Then I'm not really being me. Then you're getting a facade, right?
Right.
Just, if my tape should speak for itself.
Yes, sir.
Well,
I just,
but this what I will say this though, to that point. The sad fact is, no matter where you go, if you interviewing with someone and you want them to hire you for something and pay you a lot of money for something, you got every right in the world. You can walk up in the Goldman Sachs right now. You could be the best trader in the world. And you can walk in there with your gold chains and your Jordans on and your hat to the back and say, hey, it don't matter what I look like, whatever. I'm a genius on this thing. They probably initially wouldn't give you a try. Now, maybe if you go start your own thing and show them, hey, that didn't matter, then they'll regret it and you can prove. But whenever you are trying to apply for some or you going in here, you're interviewing, you can walk in with whatever you want, whatever kind of attitude you want. I would just say, if you do carry that in, you better make damn sure that you're the baddest MF walking the planet. Because at that point, people got choices. It's not about right or wrong, bro. Take the right or wrong aspect out of it, or how it should be. You got to throw all that out the way. 77-year-old white owner that grew up in segregation and probably done used the word colored 100 times. He don't care nothing about this new age stuff.
No.
60, 70, you come in here like professional, and maybe that's what some of them looking. Maybe that's an ownership problem. I'm not, this is not no right or wrong, but we can't pretend like if I'm going to apply for a job right now, I'm not going to come in here with a old school Patriot hoodie with my hat to the back. I'm going to come in here dressed like I want the job. Now, what I do when I go home on my off time, who I really am, that's what it is. But you can't just walk up anywhere feeling like you can do whatever you want. The only profession I know that's like that is rappers. Yeah, I guess if you're a rapper or a rock star, that's what they want to see. And
I think, like I said, it's going back to the point I made. Like I said, me being a safety inspector, we sit in these meetings, man, with these guys that come in, man, and the first thing they say when they bring a son or a nephew in, oh, man, his daddy wasn't shit. His dad used to come in and do this and do that. And they're not going to hire the son because they feel like he's going to be just like his dad or his grandpa or something. And that's the same thing that we're dealing with now, is that those owners, as y'all explained, they old school, they probably old racist, probably got 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot out. They see how Dion was back in the 80s and stuff when he first came out, and they don't want that type of player in their organization. They can't deal with it. That's what we're dealing with right here.
See, Dion forced them to deal with it. I'm the best you ever seen at this position. I shut down whole sides of the field. I can guard anybody, anywhere, at any time. So whatever talk I'm talking, I'm backing it up. It don't matter what Dion say. You got to take him. You're forced to take him. Nobody in this draft probably was at that level.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna just say this, and I think we all can agree on it. Travis Hunter didn't do no more as much flashing as Shedeur did. And I'm not saying that has a lot to do with it, but it has a lot to do with it.
His last name is not Sanders. It's the Sanders factor.
That's it.
That's why I was saying earlier, it's not about race.
Yeah.
It's about Sanders. Now, it's probably got some race overtones to it, maybe, possibly, probably. But it's about Sanders, the name Sanders. That's everything with this, in my opinion.
Let me ask you a question. And like, because I feel like this is where things went totally down south for the Sanders. The retirement of his jersey. Listen, he was, 12 and 13 at or 13 and 12 at Colorado, right? That was his record. Didn't take them to anything. You've got Cordell Stewart. You've got all these great players that went to Colorado that really did something at Colorado. And you retire his number 3 months after he stops playing there because his dad's, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think those are the images that turn people off. Because everyone sitting in here right now knows that Dion pushed that for him to get his jersey retired. The University of Colorado Athletic Department didn't go, Sanders was so great, we're going to retire his number. That did not happen, and we can all be honest about that.
No,
So,
and I agree with your point. The thing about that though, it happens often in all type of situations. You know, but to your point, it's irrelevant. It does happen, but that's very.
I just want to know where.
I don't think that should be. I don't think. To your point, though,
it's no different than like the Bronny situation. I know we all had many conversations on here about Bronny. It's the same thing. You know,
you think that's the start of all of this?
I just think it's a heightened awareness right now with Fox. It started with LeVar Ball. That's where if you track a lot of this in modern day, it goes back to LeVar Ball and seeing this black man, very strong, cocky, bragging on his kids, being there for, and that started rubbing people the wrong way. Then when Bronny started coming up and you saw Bronny coming around, you start seeing it come again. Now with Deion, it's a barrage of these bombastic fathers, Ja Morant and his daddy, these bombastic fathers that so in your face unapologetically them. And I don't know if America can really deal with it. It doesn't seem like a part of America is able to deal with that right now, because what that is really a part of our culture. That's just how we are. It's no harm to nobody. I mean, in cases we can be braggadocious people, you know what I'm saying? Especially in sports. I mean, I'm sure everybody like that to a certain extent.
Yeah, everybody.
I'm just speaking on our culture. And I just think a lot of times you got older people, it's hard for them to deal with that. You know, if you're not used to that, it's hard. You know, it's a culture shock because the world is changing. So if you're a person that's stuck in the 70s, 80s, how things used to be, and this how it was in my day, man, them days are long gone. You know, it's a whole different world out there now. And I think the people that's still running all the major institutions in the world, I mean, they still the same people that's been running it the last 50 years. And why change if I'm making it like I am now? I'm going to conserve my current way of life, and this is not what I'm used to, so I'm not going to accept it. And I think he's a victim of that.
And you hate to go there and use the race word, because like you see Caucasian fathers all the time at the football games, at the baseball games, rooting their kids on, coaching their kids and stuff. And so you hate to use the word. I just feel like it's a shame that as a father, as a man, as an individual, regardless of whatever your skin color is, you should be rooting for the man because he was able to sit up there and put his son in a better position, regardless who was coaching him. That man helped this kid, his own son, get to a position to win. And on his glory day, he can't find glory for it. Like, I could see if he was in and out of jail, I could see if he was doing this, but what did this kid do as not to deserve to get drafted? Like, as a father, as a man, it shouldn't be at this point. Like, it's 2025. We shouldn't be at this point as men. I ain't got nothing to do with white, black, nothing. As men in this world, as hard as it is for men, and we see everything, all the rights these women getting, everything that's going on with transgender and everything. I'm talking about as a solid, stone cold man, as hard as it is to be a man out here in this society. Why are we doing this? Why are we having this issue?
I think we'll go back to, I think a boy made a great point. Sorry, I can't read. Sir. You were saying Cordell still retired. I think you're right. I think Cordell should get retired. I think, Sanders came in and really put Colorado back on the map. And I think that if he wanted to retire his, Sanders jersey, okay, cool. Who's to say Cordell won't get, re-retired? But I don't think that's a business decision that you should put in play while you don't draft somebody. You could not like that. Could not like, why are they retiring his number with a 12-12? He got killed by big schools. But I don't think that's a reason not to draft him, because you don't like that they retired his number. You know what I mean? Because if you look at Colt McCoy percentages, he had great percentage. He wasn't the best arm, but he could complete a high percentage. And he still got, he went to, I think, the Browns. I think the very
Breaking up, Sidney.
Somebody gonna jump in for him.
No, I mean,
go ahead.
He's back. You were cutting out on us there towards the end. But, I listened to y'all for about 30 minutes before I joined on here, and that took me about 25 minutes. I wanted to see what it's about. Markeith knows me pretty well. I've been on a sports talk show here on the radio here for years. And when y'all kept talking about Deion, and I started sitting there and thinking about it, And I truly believe that they thought Dion was going to interfere too much with their business. After listening to y'all talk, just being honest, I felt like Dion was, even though he was doing everything the right way, which any father would do, right? I mean, I would do it. I mean, I feel like everybody would, do whatever they could for their son. I believe in the end it ended up hurting him because they thought that he was going to try to interfere, because Dion's not scared to get on. And he had, and think about this. He's at Colorado. He has a press conference, 4 a week, right, during the fall. It takes one time for Sanders not to start or not to play, and something happened for Dion to get on there and go, they're trash for not playing my son. They'd be winning right now. And I think that's a true fear from owners. I think it's a true fear from organizations with someone with that big of a platform who is not scared to speak his mind, which isn't a bad thing, but he's not scared to speak his mind, to have a situation like that come up. And I think that's very possible with someone like Dion.
I get what you're saying, but I can't totally agree with that, because Dion has benched his own son before. He's been shallow, even though it's not Shedeur. I understand it's Shedeur, the one we're talking about, but he is known for disciplining his own kids. Is my
Discipline,
point.
you're correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Benching them when they're not playing up to the standard that he feel like they should be playing. So that's why I say I'm not a 100% sold that he would say, "Oh, this team is not successful because they're not playing my son." I can't say I totally agree with that.
Well, I'm just saying what I think they're thinking, their process. I don't technically. Yeah, but I mean, guys, there's something. There's something that we don't know about. Let's just be like, there is no way. It's not just us. It's not just ESPN. This is the biggest sports story. Like, this is the biggest sports story in the draft, in any professional draft, in the history of drafts.
Yep.
Like, it's on everything. Like, there's not one person on any place, any station you go to, any like Fox, ESPN, Twitter, because that's where I kind of stay, is Twitter with sports and stuff. Like, you can't go to any place where no one is understanding what the hell is going on. No one knows.
Man, I know
everybody's going crazy. So there's something inside that they are not releasing.
And to your point, the next morning, I remember watching all the morning shows. Nobody led off with Cam Ward.
Yeah, nobody.
Like, he was C block.
Yeah.
Everything was about Shedeur.
Yeah.
Everything.
Because the Cam thing, and Cam has a chance to be a great quarterback too, but we just don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know with quarterbacks coming in, especially to teams. I mean, Tennessee's on their third? I mean, they just got Will Levis last year. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a rotating door of quarterbacks. There's so many, but there's I'm telling you guys, there's something, because if the Browns won't pick him, there's something going on that we don't know about. And I hope it comes out, and I hope it destroys the NFL, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. Only thing with that, Chris, it's not I even disagree with you, but like I said, I just go back to that makes so much sense on why I didn't pick him in the first round. And I even get it why I didn't pick him in the second round.
Right.
Third or fourth round. So now we like, okay, what team needs a good backup? Now, it has to be teams that at least need a good backup.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I'm going into it saying, okay, whatever he did rubbed me the wrong way, so I don't want him to be my franchise quarterback. I get that. Or somebody else saying, okay, the world thinks he's good. I don't think he's as good as they say. He's good, but not that good. I understand that person. Second round, third round, somebody's supposed to be saying, okay, we got a decent quarterback, but our backup is trash. We need to at least have a backup plan for our starting quarterback, who we're still not even 100% sold on. It seemed like that type of team would take it. You know
something I laughed at this morning. You're talking about the Browns with Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, and someone said, well, Sanders, he doesn't have good mobility. I'm like, you have a 40-year-old Joe Flacco who could never run when he was 22, and Kenny Pickett, and we're talking about mobility with Sanders. Like I mean, no one can make this make sense. it was over. I get the Saints not picking him because the Saints always pick trash and always screw it up. I mean, they took Taysom and paid him $100 million to play quarterback, and he wasn't a quarterback. So,
I know.
like, the Saints are the Saints. They'll always be the Saints for those kind of reasons. They got lucky with Breeze, and that's the only thing that brought them anything. And that was only because Miami had to cut him. We forget about that. If the ownership in Miami, if he passed that when he failed the physical, if they said, hey, we don't care he failed the physical, Saban wants him, we're getting him. The Saints would have never been who the Saints were because they're who they are.
Yeah.
So, with them picking it, that makes perfect sense because that's them. But when I'm telling you, when Milroe got drafted, to me, that was when this whole draft was off. Like,
yeah, for real. He's definitely the worst quarterback I've seen play at Alabama.
He will I promise you this. This is not a Jalen Hurts. This is not he will not return and be a starting quarterback in the NFL. That is 100% book that part.
No. And then I guess at the end of the day, it's not over with. I mean, if he gets drafted, he still has a chance. Like I said, I think the world is just reacting to such a shock, just such a shock to the system because on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're talking about what number in the first round is he gonna go?
Right.
By Thursday morning, we're like, is he gonna end up dropping to the second round? And by Thursday night, we like, is he gonna get drafted? That's a lot in a couple of days, emotional change for people because Deion is an icon in sports and in the world. So people are definitely attached to Deion emotionally and his family, through extension of him. So a lot of people are more tuned into this than your average draft pick person getting picked,
Well, and let me add this, and like I said, I just met Chris here or whatever, and I've been knowing Keith and LJ, and you guys are probably a little older than me, and I like wisdom. I like listening to older wisdom. Do you think that watching Shedeur all season and watching the antics, for us how his dad was and everything, do you think now seeing this and young quarterbacks coming up, or even any athlete coming up, do you guys think that character is going to really start playing a major part in these interview processes and on the field of how they're acting? And not saying that Shedeur did things, but maybe Shedeur did things that people don't like. I didn't really see a lot that he did that was wrong, but somebody somewhere did that don't like the answer. Do you think that you're going to have to change your character as a person when it comes to trying to be a NFL athlete now?
See, to me, when I look at his antics, I was critical of him during the season, not because you're doing this, you should get drafted, but get your head in the game because y'all didn't have the best season your first year there, and I want to see you more focused on the game because I want to see you succeed. Has nothing to do with where I think you're gonna get drafted at. I'm just more so, hey, y'all not winning a bunch of games this first year. Forget the flash. Win the games. Focus on there. Show people that it's not about that just with you. So that's where I would have some criticism of him last year from that perspective, even this year. But that never, to me, translated to him not getting picked in the draft.
Right.
That's just going to pertain to your play on the field. So I think if you just focus more on the field, because I'm a little old. I ain't an old man, but I'm older. I'm like, focus on the game. The game will bring everything else, So that was my thing. But I don't think you can't legislate charisma, bravado. You can't take that from people that got that naturally, right? If that's who you are, so the NFL, if they go in that direction, they're gonna pass over a lot of players going forward. If it's like you don't want players that got a little attitude, then you might as well. I don't know who you're gonna get because you're gonna have to have a certain kind of edge to you, a certain kind of something just to even be able to compete with the best players in the world day after day, year after year. So you're gonna have to have that ultimate confidence in you.
So and let me say this because man, what you're saying about character is 100% true, and here's why. I just want you to think about this. So me and Markeith the same age. This is gonna tell our age, but I graduated high school in 1997. I played college football for 4 years after that. and then went on to the real world. When I played college football in the real world, there was a lot of trash talk, right? Ton of trash talk on the field, tons of it. A lot of stuff that, you know, if it was on camera, right, would put a bad image in someone's head. Well, here's the deal. Go back and watch games back then. They never had close-ups. They never had stuff like that. Watch how the games evolved, because I'm going to tell you, if Johnny Manziel played in this era, it would be the same thing. If you watch when Johnny Manziel played, they weren't on the field. You know, they would show him. They weren't focused. Now, players are becoming the game. And
what year was he drafted in? What year did Manziel come out in?
Manziel, what was it? I don't know.
I want to say 14, 13,
14 maybe.
Yeah. And see, even back then, to your point, the internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Well, social media, but also TV cameras. They were on the field. You could watch it. Go watch the Alabama A&M game, one of the greatest, you know, games of an underdog, 15-point underdog. But watch where the cameras were. Now go watch last year with Sanders when he's on the sideline. They got him, you know, banging his watt, you know, and has his chains out. Everybody else had it. It just wasn't up close and personal in front of your TV. Like, the game is changing to it's being more personal with the players. And that's why I feel like what you're saying is right. Like, your character counts a lot more now, because there's been people that have been drafted, but because of the way it was, they had no clue what their real character was until, you know, they got into the league. I mean, Aaron Hernandez probably is one of the best versions. I mean, Urban Meyer literally told them, he is a dangerous guy. I don't know if I would draft him.
Yeah, I read that. I didn't know if that was true.
And he was the head coach of Florida, and Tim Tebow even had said things about it, like, but no one listened because they didn't see it. You see what I mean? But now
that's kind of why I go back. But that's why I go back to the internet. If something goes on, it's going to be plastered everywhere within seconds.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be nonstop, loop after loop, every social media site you go to. So whatever you do now, it's going to definitely be exaggerated.
And no one listened because they didn't care.
That's right.
They didn't care.
That's right.
That's why it always leads back to Deion for me.
But I hate to say this, man, but you know, I'll probably get killed if we were on, you know, something where I had a lot of friends listen to this. White women are the evil of all the world, and this is why. Every sports story that comes out as a negative thing is a white woman who ain't never played the damn sport before, but somehow she gets the quote unquote, it was a horrible interview. Like, make this make sense. I want you to go back in history. Everything that has been the demise of a man has been because of a woman in their damn mouth. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's insane to me. Like, how does a woman report on this and it becomes, you know, Sanders might be number one, but he'll be top 5. We just don't know where he's going to go. To her making that and saying, oh, someone just told me, a GM just told me. And it went from there and spread, man, like a wildfire in California. Like, I don't get it how something like you, and that's what we're talking about, social media. Anybody can hate, anybody can tell a lie, and it can become the truth before anyone can defend themselves.
Oh, yeah. And the lie can travel faster.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And grows more. You know, I mean, just think about you. We've all had lies about us, and by the time, you know, the 4th time we heard it, we're like, damn, like, I did all that? Like, you know, I mean, so. But I don't know.
And then let me ask this. Let me ask my last question. Say he gets drafted. Say he gets drafted within the next 2 rounds. Will he get a legit chance to make it the roster?
Yes.
It's all about chance. Look at Brock Purdy, who Mr. Irrelevant. Who knew? Look at Tom Brady. Who knew? I mean, it's all about circumstance. He could end up going to the best situation he ever had, and where it looks terrible now, guy could make turn lemons into lemonade. You know, he could go behind a player may not perform, injuries could happen. He get his shot, he show off, and everything can change. And that's what I'm praying for him.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't get drafted and he signs with the team, at that point the nonsense goes away, and now it's football. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I don't care what anybody says. We've all watched Hard Knocks, I think. I mean, I watched Chad Ochocinco get cut from the Dolphins and sitting there with my mouth dropped like, what? How are you cutting this guy? At the end of the day, once it becomes football and all this is gone, when this draft's over with and this is gone, every head coach wants to keep their job. Their job is to win. You know, if they win, you have power. So at that point, I think he has a legitimate chance that the talk goes away and it becomes strictly football, and then he's going to have to prove himself at that point.
No, I agree. All right, man. Well, look, anybody, we'll go around the horn for some last comments, man. Then we'll jump off, man. Well, first, I want to say, man, I appreciate y'all brothers jumping on. Let's breaking bread with this because we know it is a hot story, man. And it's always good to hear different opinions on it, man. But ultimately, man, I think I'm gonna hold out hope and faith that he finds a home, you know, and you know can prove to the world who he is. You know, and you know, if not, it's not going to be the end of the world because where that Sanders name could have worked against him, with that last name, he's going to always be able to take care of his family. So I just, you know he's going to end up on his feet regardless. Doug.
I always want to say thank you guys, man. I started out as just like Chris right here, man, coming out, you know, just guest filling in. So anytime, man, y'all send the link, man, I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm praying for the young man. Like I said, it's an unfortunate situation what he's going through. The numbers are there, the resume is there. And like I said, when you're filling out for a job, man, it's all about who want to hire you, who want to take a chance on you, man. And I hope one of these organizations take a chance on him, man, and he go out there and give his all on the field. And he don't let this bother him. He don't let this get him down. This is an eye opener for him, and this is an eye opener for other athletes out there to just keep working. That's all I can say. Just keep working hard. The work gonna speak for itself. Your character gonna speak for itself. And my mama always told me, rest in peace to her. When you right, don't let nobody tell you wrong.
That's it. Chris?
Man, jealousy is a hell of a drug. And I want everyone that's listening or watching or watches later, or just anyone generally in life, think about if it was you in that situation and people that don't know you, don't know who you are, and they get to define your character. I mean, I would be mad wanting to fight, you know? So, I mean, I respect the way that he's handled it the last 2 days. But I think we're such a society of wanting everyone to fail instead of succeed. And mostly it's because that we're too lazy to help ourselves succeed. So if everyone else fails, we look a little bit better. So just be wary of yourself, man. And, you know, I think he's going to be okay. I think there's going to be some very interesting conversations and news talks after today. I think after today, you know, it's when the real news starts. And maybe in the next couple of days, I think we'll be able to start finding out some things that actually happened.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Dre, you still with us?
Of course, man. Of course.
Closing remarks.
At the end of the day, I feel like somebody up top told teams not to draft him. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And the only way that I'm gonna feel okay about this is somehow, some way, God Himself sent Jesus down here, and somehow Shedeur goes to my Steelers. That's the whole thing that's gonna make this okay. If he don't go to my Steelers, then you know I'm gonna be mad. You know, so I'm just selfish. That's all.
Ain't nothing wrong with you, little bro. Fred, we'll let you close us out.
Man, all I got, man, I'm getting away from the actual football issue. I don't think it's a football issue. I think it's a Shedeur and Dion issue with a racist undertone to it. And it's sad that we still looking at this type of thing in 2025. The antics, whatever they feel like he's doing, jury, vehicles, that stuff, I guess it matters to them or it matters to who they want it to matter to because we've been seeing it. This ain't the first time we've seen it. This ain't the first time we've seen players talk out the side of their neck in interviews. None of this stuff is new. And I guess some can do it and some can't do it. And it's just sad that we got to sit here and still see this go on in 2025. I've been rocking with Dion ever since he pulled up at Jackson State. And you got people that didn't like him then, And those same people that didn't like him then are probably rooting and happy that this is even going on.
Yep.
Honestly. Um, so I just hate that aspect of it. Like I said, the football part doesn't matter to me because we've seen what he can do on the football field. Of course, we ain't seen it in NFL, but we've seen what he can do to get to the NFL. So, and that's all I got, man. Hopefully things turn around real quick. And if it don't, it's sad. It is.
I agree with, and I'll end it with this. One thing we do know is he was raised by a strong father who's been instilling in him who he is his whole life. So I have no doubt Dion is right there, telling him to keep his head up, and Dion gonna put in him exactly what he needs.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
definitely. He got the right parent in his corner. I give you that. Yes, sir.
That's for dang sure. Well, man, we want to appreciate everybody that made comments, that stayed and tuned in with us. If you're liking us on YouTube, man, we ask that you like the channel, subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone, and all that good old stuff, man. But we always say when it's time to go, it's time to go.